Good evening, my amazing things. Welcome back or welcome to the cavern. I hope everyone had a great week and are doing amazing. I'm sure many of you have heard about the movie The Invitation, and I'll admit I hated the previews because they kind of gave the movie away like many seem to do and leave you wondering why you're even going to bother watching the movie when they kind of just spoiled it for you. However, I went in giving it the benefit of the doubt, especially with the PG-13 rating, which, come to find out, all vampire movies are rated R. So it's kind of weird that they went for a PG-13 rating. And I think the reason most vampire films are rated R is because, well, there's tons of blood and violence and occasionally gore, depending on the vampire movie. Others, I think, were rated R because the vampires look terrifying for the era, anyways. Fright Night and The Lost Boys fall into that category for me, anyways. Because at first, I honestly thought they were rated PG-13 until I went and looked, and no, they're rated R. But there's not a lot of gore, not a lot of blood. So, it had me a little confused as to why they weren't PG-13. But we gotta look at the time period and it all makes sense. The Invitation is about a young woman who works as a caterer to support her true passion in ceramics. After losing her mother, she longs to find family once again, and I kind of don't blame her. You kind of feel alone. Family is everything to me. I love my family. So I think I'd be lost without them, too. Her friend Grace is kind of like her sister, even though they're not related by blood, but they are very, very close, and you can tell. Grace makes a grab bag for Evie, which contains a DNA testing kit at one of the catering events that they were at. After a few days, Evie receives an email to meet her cousin Oliver, who is of British descent, and invites her to one of their family members' weddings, where everyone is anxious to meet her. From here, there's going to be spoilers, so continue at your own risk if you haven't seen this or if you don't have any intention of watching this movie. Grace constantly warns Evie about the new family she's found. I blame her, because you don't know anything about these people. But Evie never listens. Instead, she meets Walter in England. England. That is where they go. Wow. She meets Walter, who is the owner of the venue the family is using for the wedding festivities. Finding he is not related, she soon falls for him. Kind of like Cinderella. Honestly, this movie reminded me of Cinderella up until the ending. Or twist, I should say. Jokingly, he proposes and she says yes, but doesn't take it seriously. The next day, she learns he's a vampire and Dracula. Well, it's not really said that he's Dracula, but it's implied. It is also revealed that the Alexander family is one of 3 families who, for centuries, have offered one of their women to become Walter's wife in exchange for protection and wealth. Which is pretty messed up, if you ask me, but no judgments. It's fine, I guess. Evie tries to escape but fails and goes through the ritual, becoming a vampire and killing Walter. Lucy and Victoria kill each other, which are Walter's other wives. Because, well, Dracula always had 3 wives. Well, in lore, anyways, not in, the real story. I may actually get into the real story about him because, well, Vlad is very interesting to me. And not because of what he did. Not at all what he did. That was just really messed up. But we're not getting into Vlad or any of that right now. So, I thought the beginning was very well done for The Invitation. I really liked it. Except there wasn't any chemistry between Evie and Walter. For those of you that have seen this, did you notice that? Or is it just me? Because it just didn't seem like they actually cared about each other. There wasn't that spark, I guess. It did have the Cinderella feel, like I said earlier. The reason why is when they had their first dance, everyone's staring at them. It's kind of this clunky dance because she doesn't know how to waltz and he's trying to lead her and it's just a mess. I was laughing. I can't help it. Could not help it. Once the reveal happened, from there it just fell apart for me. While Evie was in the mansion, there were hints that things weren't as they seemed, and I did like that. Some scenes kept me on edge, wondering what's going to happen to her, if a vampire was going to feed on her and kill her, before Walter knew about it. For instance, when she's in her room and you see, like, these hands with long fingernails on the... I'm gonna call it a curtain. I know it's not what it's called, but I'm gonna call it. It was creepy. I'll admit that. And I wanted to know what was going to happen, especially when she went underneath the bed and you see the blankets kind of lift. I was hoping for something really jump scary, I guess you could say. Sorry. I know a lot of people hate jump scares because they're so overdone, but I was hoping for it, but it was nice that they didn't do it at the same time because they're so overdone. I wish they kept that throughout. And I don't know, I kind of wish they kept with the Cinderella feel. She meets this Prince Charming. It turns out to be this evil son of a bitch. That would have been freaking great, but they didn't do it. I don't know, I think it was a missed opportunity, just my opinion, because Walter, to me, didn't seem like a jerk. He tried to make Evie feel welcome. He tried to apologize for, I think he was a butler, but I could be wrong. The first gentleman that kind of snapped at her, and the maids. I kind of liked Walter's persona. I thought he was a nice guy, and that's why it was hard for me to envision him as being a jerk. And it just didn't work when the reveal happened, because it didn't come off that way. So I kind of wish they just mixed, Cinderella with Beauty and the Beast, because that's kind of what they seemed like they were trying to go for. It probably would have worked for me. Missed opportunity. Just missed opportunity. For those of you that have seen this, what did you think? As a huge vampire fan, I found this problematic and disappointing. Next week, I'll be discussing 2 criminals who had an interest in vampirism, one of which is very disturbing, so I'm going to leave out his childhood and younger years. I'm just going to talk about his crimes, because they're not as disturbing. His life's pretty messed up. Not going to lie. I will leave links, though, in the description of that video, so if you want to know all the grisly, messed up details of his life, you can, by all means, go look into that if you really wanted to. I also will be reviewing Virus, which isn't available to stream anywhere, unfortunately, and I'm kind of surprised because it's from 1999, and Jamie Lee Curtis is in it, so kind of messed up. It's only available to rent, and yes, I actually did rent it over the weekend. I really did. My husband was telling me how I needed to watch it because it freaked him out. It didn't freak me out, I will tell you that. That's all I'm going to tell you about that. I'm not going to give you anything more away. If you don't want to miss the upcoming content, click the bell icon to be the first notified of a new video. Can't wait for more. Check out my other videos on the screen. Thank you so much for watching, and take care until next time. Thank you all so much. Bye.